In a decisive move amid escalating tensions with the United States, Chinese President Xi Jinping is reportedly contemplating a new iteration of the Made in China initiative aimed at bolstering the production of high-end technological goods. This strategic consideration emerges as President Biden's administration calls for a rebalancing of supply chains, signaling a potential shift in global manufacturing dynamics. Sources familiar with the discussions indicate that Xi's government is keen on maintaining a tight grip on the manufacturing sector, particularly as the U.S. seeks to repatriate jobs in factories. The new plan reflects China's ambition to enhance its technological prowess and reduce dependency on foreign imports, especially in light of ongoing U.S. China tensions that have intensified since the trade war began. Analysts suggest that this initiative could also be a response to the U.S. administration's efforts to undermine China's technological advancements through tariffs and sanctions. A recent Bloomberg report highlights that President Trump's push to bring back manufacturing jobs to the U.S. has not only strained trade relations but has also prompted China to double down on its manufacturing capabilities. In parallel to these economic strategies, the political landscape within China is rife with speculation regarding Xi Jinping's leadership stability. Recent rumors have circulated regarding possible internal power struggles within the Chinese Communist Party (CCP), with some insiders suggesting that Xi may face mounting pressure to resign. The tension comes amid reports of Xi's declining health and significant military purges that have raised questions about his grip on power. Independent commentator Kai-Sheng has fueled discussions by alleging that CCP elders are dissatisfied with Xi's handling of domestic and international issues, pressing for a leadership change that could coincide with upcoming political gatherings. These factions within the party are reportedly eyeing potential successors, including Ding Xuexiang, a close aide to Xi, and Chen Jining, the Shanghai party secretary. Adding to the intrigue, Xi's recent public appearances have sparked concern over his health, with observers noting physical signs that suggest he may be suffering from serious medical issues. This speculation, combined with ongoing purges within the military, has created an atmosphere of uncertainty regarding the future of leadership in China. The political machinations within the CCP are further complicated by external pressures, including heightened tensions with the U.S. and the ongoing situation in Taiwan. In a further sign of Xi's commitment to strengthening China's military capabilities, he recently signed regulations aimed at safeguarding critical military-industrial facilities. These new rules, which will take effect in September 2025, will enforce stringent security measures for sites involved in the production and research of military equipment. The emphasis on securing military assets underscores the regime's focus on national security amid a backdrop of geopolitical uncertainty. As these developments unfold, the implications for both domestic and global stability remain profound. The interplay between Xi's potential leadership challenges and the ambitions of the Made in China initiative could reshape not only China's economic landscape but also its foreign relations, particularly with the United States. Observers will be watching closely as the CCP navigates these turbulent waters, with the outcomes likely to influence the dynamics of international trade and geopolitical alignments for years to come. With the political landscape in flux and economic strategies being recalibrated, the coming months will be pivotal in determining whether China solidifies its manufacturing supremacy or experiences a dramatic shift in leadership that could alter its trajectory on the world stage. In recent months, China's political landscape has become increasingly turbulent, with speculation surrounding President Xi Jinping's leadership intensifying amid economic challenges and a series of internal purges within the Chinese Communist Party (CCP). Rumors of Xi's potential resignation have sparked heated discussions across media platforms, fueled by reports of his health issues and alleged power struggles within the party. The implications of these developments are profound, not only for China's future but also for global stability. Independent commentator Kai-Sheng ignited a frenzy by suggesting that Xi is facing pressure from CCP elders to resign, particularly ahead of the fourth plenary session scheduled for late August. Kai's claims include a leaked successor list that names Politburo Standing Committee member Ding Xuexiang as a potential next General Secretary alongside Shanghai Party Secretary Chen Jining, who has been identified as a rising star within party ranks. While Kai's past predictions have lent some credibility to his assertions, skepticism remains prevalent, particularly regarding Ding's lack of local governance experience and the factional dynamics at play. Compounding these rumors are concerns about Xi's health. Recent public appearances have raised eyebrows, with reports of uncontrollable shaking during meetings and visible scars suggesting possible medical issues. Observers are drawing comparisons to past leaders whose declines preceded significant political shifts. Alongside these health concerns, the ongoing purges within the Central Military Commission (CMC) have underscored the internal strife within the party. High-profile detentions and investigations signal a turbulent environment, with some analysts interpreting these actions as a desperate bid by Xi's allies to maintain control amidst rising dissent. The recent expanded Politburo meeting, which reportedly included retired elders and former leaders, further highlights the factional tensions within the CCP. Sources indicated that Xi faced multiple accusations, reinforcing the narrative of a divided party. This meeting's inability to reach a consensus on leadership changes foreshadows potential conflicts during the upcoming session, suggesting that Xi's control over the party may be under threat. As the CCP grapples with its internal struggles, external pressures are mounting. Speculation abounds regarding China's intentions toward Taiwan, with reports hinting at a military buildup and preparations for possible aggressive actions. Former academic Yuan Hongbing has suggested that the CCP may be leveraging promises of market openings to the U.S. in exchange for support in its peaceful unification strategy with Taiwan. Yet many analysts dismiss these claims as mere tactics designed to stall U.S. tariffs while advancing Beijing's aggressive agenda. The global implications of these developments cannot be overstated. The ongoing discontent within the CCP reflects a broader unease among the Chinese populace, exacerbated by economic stagnation and the fallout from the U.S. China trade war. The CIA's recent efforts to undermine the CCP through targeted communications highlight a significant shift in U.S. strategy toward open confrontation with the Chinese leadership. As factions within the CCP vie for influence, the potential for a leadership change, whether through Xi's resignation or a more dramatic coup, looms large. In conclusion, the political future of China hangs in a delicate balance, with the outcomes of forthcoming party meetings likely to shape not only internal governance but also international relations, particularly concerning Taiwan and the U.S. China dynamic. As the world watches, the next few months will be crucial in determining whether the CCP can navigate its internal chaos or if it will face a seismic shift that could redefine China's trajectory and its role on the global stage. In a significant move that signals China's intent to fortify its technological supremacy amid rising tensions with the United States, President Xi Jinping's administration is reportedly revisiting the Made in China 2025 initiative. Originally unveiled a decade ago, this ambitious program aims to elevate China's manufacturing capabilities in critical sectors such as semiconductors and electric vehicles. The renewed focus comes at a time when the U.S. has intensified its efforts to promote economic rebalancing and strategic decoupling from China. According to a recent report by Bloomberg, Chinese officials are crafting an updated framework for the initiative, which is likely to align with the country's upcoming 5-year plan set for 2026. This plan is expected to reaffirm the pivotal role of manufacturing in China's economic landscape. Officials are also weighing alternative GDP targets tied to consumption, though current indications suggest a preference for maintaining a manufacturing-centric approach. Xi's administration is adamant about safeguarding its industrial dominance, particularly in light of U.S. tariffs that have fluctuated dramatically, peaking at 145% before being moderated following diplomatic discussions in Geneva. Notably, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has called for collaborative rebalancing efforts, yet China's commitment to industrial self-reliance remains steadfast. We must keep strengthening the manufacturing sector, adhere to the principles of self-reliance and self-improvement, and master key core technologies, she emphasized during a recent factory visit. This renewed focus on domestic industrial strength comes against a backdrop of escalating global trade tensions, particularly as the G7 finance ministers have pledged to address excessive imbalances in trade, a reference often directed at China's policies. The implications of China's reassertion of its manufacturing ambitions extend beyond its borders. The yuan's influence in global trade is expanding, particularly as political and economic dynamics shift. Analysts suggest that as the dollar's supremacy faces challenges, the yuan is increasingly positioned as a viable alternative. Despite its current status as a secondary reserve currency, the yuan's share of international payments has seen a notable increase from 1.94% before the COVID-19 pandemic to 3.75% as of December last year. In South Korea, for instance, the percentage of trade settlements in yuan has more than doubled since 2020, indicating a growing reliance on Chinese currency for transactions. This trend reflects broader patterns where companies importing raw materials from China find yuan settlements more economically advantageous than dollar payments, particularly given the high costs associated with currency exchanges. As the yuan's role in international finance strengthens, it poses potential risks to the South Korean economy, particularly if foreign investments shift away from the won in favor of more accessible yuan assets. Experts warned that an accelerated internationalization of the yuan could destabilize the won's value and increase market volatility. In parallel with these economic maneuvers, diplomatic initiatives are also underway. Xi's recent visit to Malaysia underscores China's strategic pivot in Southeast Asia, particularly as it prepares for the upcoming ASEAN-GCC-China summit. This summit represents a crucial opportunity for China to strengthen ties with ASEAN countries and the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC), positioning itself as a counterbalance to U.S. influence in the region. As geopolitical tensions continue to rise, the dynamics between China, the U.S., and their respective allies are becoming increasingly intricate. The Chinese initiative to bolster its manufacturing capabilities and the yuan's expanding footprint in global trade are not merely economic strategies, they reflect a broader ambition to reshape the international order in response to U.S. policies. Looking ahead, the interplay between technological innovation, currency influence, and diplomatic relations will play a pivotal role in determining the future landscape of global trade and economic power dynamics. As both nations navigate these challenges, the outcomes of their respective strategies will likely have lasting implications for the global economy. In a significant move aimed at bolstering national security, Chinese President Xi Jinping has enacted new regulations to protect the country's military-industrial facilities. Signed on May 26, 2025, the order is a collaborative effort between the Central Military Commission (CMC) and the State Council, signaling a strategic response to growing global security challenges. The regulations, which will take effect on September 15, 2025, focus on the safeguarding of critical military facilities encompassing research, production, testing, and storage sites for essential weaponry and equipment. They extend to various infrastructures including archives, data centers, communication stations, and specialized transportation hubs such as ports and railways. By establishing stringent security measures, these regulations aim to ensure that these facilities are effectively utilized while modernizing China's national defense capabilities. According to the official document, access to these protection zones will be strictly regulated. Unauthorized individuals, vehicles, and vessels will be prohibited from entering these areas, and any form of documentation, including photography and videography, will be banned without prior approval from relevant authorities. Violations of these regulations could lead to severe criminal penalties, emphasizing the seriousness with which China is approaching the protection of its military assets. The introduction of this order reflects a broader trend in global military strategy as countries reassess their defense frameworks in light of rising geopolitical tensions. The move can be seen as part of China's ongoing efforts to strengthen its military posture amidst an increasingly complex security environment, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region, where tensions surrounding Taiwan and territorial disputes in the South China Sea continue to escalate. The establishment of these regulations highlights China's commitment to enhancing the security of its military-industrial complex, noted a defense analyst. This initiative not only safeguards sensitive military information but also signals to both allies and adversaries that China is serious about its national defense. As the global landscape evolves, such protective measures could have far-reaching implications for military cooperation and competition. The new regulations may also influence how other nations approach their military security, potentially leading to a ripple effect in defense policy adjustments worldwide. Moving forward, the effectiveness of these regulations will be closely monitored, particularly in how they integrate with China's broader military objectives and its relationships with neighboring countries. The potential for heightened tensions in the Asia-Pacific region, especially regarding Taiwan, remains a critical consideration as China fortifies its military readiness. This development will be a focal point for analysts and policymakers alike as they navigate the intricate dynamics of international security in the coming years. In a strategic display of diplomacy, Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent visit to Malaysia coincides with former U.S. President Donald Trump's engagements in the Gulf region. As global powers position themselves ahead of the upcoming ASEAN-China Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) summit, this diplomatic maneuvering underscores the increasing significance of Southeast Asia in the broader geopolitical landscape, particularly in the context of U.S. China relations. China views Malaysia as a pivotal partner, acting as a bridge for dialogue and cooperation with GCC countries. This relationship assumes critical importance as both China and Malaysia seek to address the economic and political challenges posed by the U.S., particularly following Trump's imposition of tariffs on Chinese goods. Xi's visit in mid-April 2025 aimed to solidify ties and culminated in a joint statement supporting Gaza and the Palestinian cause, reflecting a shared political stance that resonates within the region. The backdrop of Xi's visit is notable. It follows key trade discussions between the U.S. and China in Switzerland earlier in May, creating a charged atmosphere as the ASEAN and ASEAN-GCC summits approach. The ASEAN-GCC summit, scheduled for May 27, 2025, presents a unique opportunity for China to foster deeper economic negotiations with ASEAN nations, potentially laying groundwork to mitigate the impacts of ongoing trade tensions with the U.S. The strategic importance of ASEAN to China cannot be overstated. As a vital area for geopolitical maneuvering, it serves as a focal point for both Washington and Beijing. The U.S. has recently strengthened its strategic partnership with ASEAN, highlighting a shared commitment to address pressing global issues from climate change to regional security threats. Conversely, China is keen to enhance its comprehensive strategic partnership with ASEAN, aiming to establish the world's largest free trade area, an ambition that directly counters U.S. influence. An array of complex global issues, including the Ukraine conflict, regional tensions in the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea, North Korea's missile activity, and the aftermath of the Gaza war, loom large over the upcoming summit discussions. These topics will likely dominate the agenda as ASEAN countries, China, and the GCC navigate their collective response to U.S. pressures. In a further sign of China's commitment to strengthening ties with Malaysia, Premier Li Keqiang is set to attend the ASEAN-GCC-China summit. His presence signals Beijing's desire to consolidate its relationships in the region, particularly as the U.S. continues to impose tariffs. Despite the recent suspension of tariffs on certain countries, analysts predict that the U.S. will likely implement new trade restrictions, exacerbating existing tensions and pushing countries like Malaysia closer to China in search of alternative markets. The competitive dynamic between the U.S., China, and Europe at the summit reflects the Gulf states' interest in securing economic partnerships with ASEAN. As they seek to diversify their economic ties, the GCC nations are increasingly looking to enhance their presence in Asia, a region demonstrating robust growth potential across various sectors, including energy and infrastructure. The diplomatic landscape is further complicated by internal U.S. politics and the unpredictable nature of Trump's approach. Many leaders in the Gulf express concerns over Trump's temperament and the potential for abrupt policy shifts prompting a recalibration of their international strategies. This unease is a driving factor behind their growing rapprochement with ASEAN and China, facilitated by Malaysia's leadership. The discussions at the ASEAN-GCC-China summit will likely revolve around forging new economic alliances, enhancing cultural cooperation, and addressing shared challenges such as maritime security. The emphasis on a maritime cooperation mechanism underscores the importance of ensuring safe navigation and trade routes in the face of rising tensions. As the ASEAN-GCC-China summit approaches, the commitment to fostering multilateral cooperation among these diverse regions is more pressing than ever. The summit presents a platform for addressing mutual concerns while exploring avenues for collaboration in investment security and cultural exchange. Looking ahead, the outcomes of this summit could significantly reshape the economic and political interactions within the region, marking a pivotal moment in the evolving dynamics of international relations. In summary, the strategic engagements of Xi and Trump highlight the intricate web of diplomacy that shapes the current geopolitical landscape, where Southeast Asia emerges as a critical battleground for influence among global powers. The forthcoming summit may not only redefine economic partnerships but also pave the way for a new era of cooperation among nations navigating the complexities of a multipolar world.